All right, so P6, this is related to P6. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. They just want you to can you guys see the review test?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The heck are they asking? Enter your multiple choice with the correct answer. Oh, I see. So they want you to find point two, or the point that's labeled two, and just write it down. So I don't think we need to spend time on that. Let's keep going. P6 again is plotting points. You guys have any questions on how to plot these points on question two? Okay, then let's try something more complex then. Find the midpoint between 2 points. Honestly, all you got to do is add up the x's divided by 2, add up the y's divided by 2, and you get a point in the middle. So let's go ahead and do that one. And I'm going to give you till, I forgot what date I put, but towards the end of the month to get this done. It's not, I would recommend getting it out of the way sooner. That way it's not as, as bad, and you can chill during Halloween time, instead of worrying about stuff. Number 3. Find the midpoint of -19 and 9 and 11, 13. So the formula for midpoint, I went ahead and gave it to you on the test, is equal to adding the x1s, add the x's together, divide by 2, add the y's together, divide by 2. So that'd be -19 plus 11. X's and x's, yeah. So this will be 9 plus 13 divided by 2. No big deal, right? You can label your x1, y1, x2, y2. -19 plus 11, that's going to be divide by 2. And that's it. I don't usually give out the formulas, but once in a while I do. I expect you to have your own page, Stephen. So any formula you've used on the homework, just put it on your formula page. Or the printouts I've sent you, you can use those too. No, the units are yeah, anything I've sent you. Oh, excuse me. All right, so that's all for midpoint. Any questions on midpoint? All right. Move on to number 4. Number 4 is the distance between 2 points. So find the distance between 2 points. I'm gonna go ahead and give them right here. -5, -6, and 7, -1. So the distance formula, we'll just call it D, is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So just label your stuff x1, y1, x2, y2. And that's pretty much it. Plug it in and we should be good. So x2 minus x1 plus.
Are you showing your screen or your work? Because I only see your screen.
Are you, is it still on the test one? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Oops. Thank you. Can you see it now?
Yep. You're good.
Let's start from the top then. So find the distance between 2 points. Label them x1, y1, x2, y2 so you don't make a mistake. The D distance formula is this guy. And then just plug it in. Just watch your signs and you'll be good. So plug in 7 minus -5, so built-in minus. Y2 is -1 minus y1 that'll be 7 plus 5 squared plus -1 plus 6 squared. Seven plus 5. Okay. Let me know. Do you guys agree with this so far?
Yep.
All right. So that'll be 144 plus 25, which is 169. Okay, so the distance is 13. Any questions on the distance problem? Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn the page in just a moment. Move on to circles. Can you guys see the test again?
Yep.
Oh, you know what? It'll be easier. I did this. Okay. So number 5, I believe. Find the radius R and the center HK. of the circle described by the following equation. Write it down and I'll switch over. All right, one moment. All right, so we should know that the standard form is, oh yeah, thanks for the answer is correct. Radius, your center is correct. Yeah, radius would be the square root. So we should know that center will always be HK. So the opposite of these numbers. So in our case, we got 5 minus 3. Radius will always be the square root of whatever's over here, which is 7. Not too bad, right? So far, task 2 looks pretty chill, straightforward. Oh. Okay. 6 and 7. 6, I think, is similar to what we just did. I'm going to shorten it up so we can move on. So given center 5, -7, and radius equal to 5, write the equation in standard form. Okay. So the standard form we know is x minus h plus y minus k equal to r squared. So plug in x minus 5 plus, this is why the signs become opposites, right? Y minus a -7. And that's it. That's all they want. Any questions on 5 or 6 so far? All right, let's move on then. Back to the test here. We did see this guy. This one's a little harder. Number 7 and 8. We did those together in an example. Do you remember? You guys want to do I think 8 was the hard one. This is the one we had to find the distance between the 2 points to find the diameter. So basically, you have 2 points on the edge of the circle and they're on opposite sides. So if you find the distance, then you get diameter. And then you cut it in half and you get radius. Does that sound familiar? So let's go ahead and do this one, because this one was kind of hard. So let's do it again. The one before is, I think, pretty easy. So let's skip that one. Okay, write the standard form of the equation of the circle, which has -5, 4 and -1, 8 as endpoints. Of a diameter. Okay. Double check I wrote the numbers right. -5, 4, 1, -1, 8. Okay. So basically we know that these are opposite sides. So what is diameter? So in order to find diameter, would use the distance formula. So that'll be x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So this is my x1, y1, x2, y2. This becomes -1 minus -5, 8 minus 4. So that will be the square root. The 1 minus -5, that's a +5. 1 plus 5 is 6. That'll be 6 squared plus 8 minus 4, 4 squared, 36 plus 16. Right? Guys, agree with my numbers here? Nope. Looks wrong to me, right? Do you see the error? Yeah. Okay. So we got distance. But 1 second, guys, sorry. Oh, wait. Need to focus here. So diameter is equal to 4 square root 2, which means that this implies that the radius would equal 4 square root 2 divided by 2, which is 2 root 2, right? So you guys with me up to this point? Because now we're going to move on to finding the center. Anyone lost on this part? Okay. How would you guys find the center? Yeah, use a midpoint. So use midpoint, because these 2 points are on the edges, right? So the midpoint would give you the center. That makes sense? Well, there we go. So now the center would be this. So this is the center. Okay, so now we have the center, we have the radius. That's all we need to use this guy. That'll be what this is what they want. They want the standard form, but in order to give them this equation, we need to find the center and the radius. We use the distance formula to find the radius. We use the midpoint to find the center. So now the answer the question. That's strange. Okay. Any questions on number 8? I wanted to add more details, but I ran out of space, but it makes sense, right? Or is it weird? Is it all right? I'm so black and white for some reason. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let me know if you do. Right. It's tempting. Okay, so now let's move on to functions. So we did plotting points, midpoint, distance, circles. Now, functions. Is this a function? Does this set of points represent a function? No, right? Why is it not a function? Yeah, the one goes to two different points. The one is mapped to 3 and -3. So that's a problem. So this violates the definition of a function. What about the next one? Why not?
It fails the vertical line test.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to explain yourself on the exam. Just say, yeah, it fails the vertical line test. It intersects at 2 points, right? You can describe it in different ways if you want, but saying that is enough, more than enough. Any questions on 9 and 10? Okay, moving on to 11. 11, they just want you to see if you remember what that notation means. Should be super easy, right? I hope. Oops. So all we gotta do for this question is find f of 4. What does f of 4 mean again? What is that telling us to do?
To substitute x as 4.
Yeah, that's it. This is the input. So it wants the output. What happens? Okay, well, I don't know. Plug it in. See what happens. 5 times 16 minus 12 minus 7. What is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's right, Frederick. You guys get 61?
Yes.
All right. That's it, right? Nothing crazy. Here's the same question, but they're doing it on a piecewise function. So now we understand if we plug in 10, if it says f of 10, that means plug in 10. Where would you plug it into? The first piece, second piece, or third piece for this function? Why the third piece?
Because it's greater than 6.
Yeah, so 10 is above 6, and the only one that allows for it is the third one. So you write this down, given f of x is equal to Okay. So, oops, was it 12? Yeah, I don't know where I got that 12 from. That's it. Any questions on 11 or 12? Same concept. Cool. I'm gonna skip 13 unless you want to see it. You guys care about 13? Yeah, let me know if I'll do it if you want. Okay, moving on then. 14. Select the answer. Oh, okay, who cares about that? It looks like it wants us to find the domain and range. So, what is the lowest x value here? And the highest x value, right? We don't have any holes. So yeah. Domain is -3 to 0. Do we put brackets?
Yes, because it's closed.
Yeah, this is closed. What is the range? What is the lowest y value? What is the highest y value? So 0 to 4. Yeah, always lowest first, right? Brackets. All right, let's take a 10-minute break here. Need to get some water, and then we'll finish up the review. Find the zeros of the function f of x equal to 3x squared plus 9x minus 84. Okay. So basically what that means is you set the function to 0. They gave us a hint, but we should know that. Double check the numbers. 84, 9x, 3x. Yeah, we're good. So solve this. And you'll have your zeros. Does 3 go into 84? So it looks like we can do a GCF on all 3, right?
It does.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yes, 28.
Cool, thank you. All right, so GCF is out. Now we can factor this a little easier. Does it factor pretty? Yeah, looks like it. What are the numbers?
It's 4 and 7, right?
Yeah, 4 and
Should be
7.
7 and -4.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so now we use the zero factor property that says set each factor to 0. So x is -7, x is 4. So we got our 2 zeros. Nothing crazy. I don't know how, I mean, I don't really care how you enter them because I still have to grade it myself, but they might want it as points. I don't know. Let's see. No, they just put commas. Okay. Find the y. So we did the x-intercept. Y-intercept, you just plug in 0 and then you simplify. That's it. So let's move on. Determine the open intervals of the domain where it's increasing and decreasing are constant. Okay. Given this picture, where are we increasing? Negative infinity. Well, you always
Negative.
put, go ahead. Yeah, 2 to infinity for sure, and negative infinity to -2. So we'll put a union and have those two pieces. Okay. So there we go. Do we have any decreasing sections?
No.
Nah. Constant? Yeah. And that's it. Any questions on 16? Okay, move on then. Average rate of change. Okay. So we mentioned back then, all that is the slope between 2 points. It's just that we no longer have a linear function, we have a curve. But if you pick 2 points on the curve and just find the slope through them, then that's the average rate. That's all you got to do. So I'm gonna write down what number is this? I don't even know. 17. Your average rate is equal to x2 minus x1 over the function at x2 minus the function. Oh, shoot, got it backwards. Dang it. I'll switch over in a moment. So basically y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But in functional form, and the x2, y2, whatever are those 2 points. So given -4, 0 and -1, -3. So this is the average rate. This is basically x1, y1, or f of x1. Same thing. x2, f of x2. Does that make sense? All right, so just plug it in. -3 minus 0 over -1 minus -4. Yes, you're right. Thank you. All right, so the slope, or the average rate, is -1, which makes sense, right? They drew like a secant line. So that slope is negative. Any questions on 17? And cool, they have a hint too. Nice. Forgot about that. All right, let's move on then. 18. Given the following functions, select the answer choices, whatever. The graph of the function has been shifted. Okay. Yes, so it's been 3 units to the left, 5 units down. Has it been, which axis has it been reflected on? Yeah, If there's a minus in front, it's reflected downward, which means over the x-axis. What type of function is this? Let me write this down. This is a parabola reflected on the x-axis, shifted three units to the left and 5 units down. Yeah, parabola or quadratic would have been fine, or squared function, sure. No big deal. More of a conceptual problem, not much to do. You just need to understand what creates the transformations. I think I gave you guys some notes on that, right? Just use those when you make your formula sheet. Write down those the transformations. You guys cool on 18? Don't worry about it. Just make sure you write it on your paper, because that's what I'm gonna look at anyway. For the real test. Okay. Select the correct graph of the polynomial function. So here it looks like we gotta just choose a graph. So let's just skip that guy. That's boring. Three, 1, okay. 20 and 21. Do you have any issues graphing a sketch of this guy on just on paper? Doesn't have to be perfect, just a sketch. Okay. So this is a quick sketch, nothing crazy. We know that this -4 and -3 are going to create the transformations. We know it's a parabola, right? This is good enough. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So -4, -3 would be your vertex. So that would be 4, -3 right there. Righty. If we compare it to the original, it'd be here. So it'd be a shift to the right, shift to the bottom. Oops, sorry. Basically just some parabola. That's good enough. If you imagine the original being right here, so the -4 moves it to the right 4, -3 moves it down 3. There it is. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Uh, 21. So let's analyze this graph together. What is the domain of this parabola? Yeah, it goes on forever in both directions, right? Okay, that's easy. What about the range? What's the lowest value for the y's? Yeah, so negative infinity because it keeps going down. What is the highest y value? Yeah, it looks like 7. Yeah, so negative infinity to 7. Just put a bracket on 7. That's it. What is the vertex? Yeah, it looks like negative 4, 7. Yeah, okay. So domain, negative infinity to infinity. Range is negative infinity to 7, bracket. Vertex is negative 4 comma 7. What is the axis of symmetry? So the axis of symmetry for the function is always an equation. It's x equal to the number, and the number will always be your h for the vertex, negative 4. So make sure you write it like this: x equals negative 4, because it's a line equation, not a number. Does that make sense? It's a vertical line. Okay, cool. Analyzing end behavior. I don't think we really talked about this one. Select the open. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, sorry, I made an assumption. It said analyze the behavior of the graph. So it wants to know where it's increasing. That's easy. Where is it? Where is it increasing?
Negative infinity to 7, right? Or
Negative.
to negative 4.
Yeah, that's right. So increasing negative infinity all the way until negative 4. Where are we decreasing?
From negative 4 to infinity.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. That's all they asked. Oh well, cool. Any questions on 22? Alrighty. This is the same thing. Let's move on. So here I actually gave you the formula to find the vertex, and I also taught you two ways to find it. Use the completing the square method or use this formula. This is the easiest way, unless you have a reason to have it in standard form. Okay, so 24, I think. I don't know. Find the vertex of this function, 3x squared minus 12x plus 8. Recall that h is equal to negative b over 2a, and the k is the function at that value. In other words, the y corresponding y value. Okay. So ABC, they're referring to this, right? Here's my A and B. So A is 3, B is negative 12. So H will be equal to negative 12 over 2 times 3, which will be 12 over 6, which is 2. K will equal F at that number that we just found, which will be F of 2. That makes sense? Four times 3 is 12. 12 minus 12, so it'll be negative 12. So you guys get negative 4. Okay. So vertex is HK, which is 2, negative 4. Any questions on 24? Okay, you guys cool on 24 then? All right. 25 is a word problem. This is etymologists studying the migration patterns of the American snout, a species of North American butterfly. Model the abundance of butterflies in a given year using this function, where X represents the month of the year. Okay, cool. So 1 is January, 12 is December, who cares? Determine the maximum number of butterflies migrating in a given year. Select the correct value. Round it to 2 decimal places. In which months does the butterfly population peak or reach its maximum value? All right. Well, what would you guys do? What do we need to find in order to answer those questions? Well, I like where your heads or your ideas at, Carlos, but that's more of a calculus approach. We want to find the maximum or the peak of the parabola. The peaks always happen at the vertex, right? Or the minimum. So all they're really asking is, what is the vertex? Then I can answer A and B. Does that make sense? So just do what we just did before, except it means something. It's not just a random function. So vertex HK would be equal something. H is equal to negative B over 2A. A is negative 4.57. B is 51.43. So that'll be negative 51.43 over 2 times negative 4.57. Whatever that is, I think it's calculator time, right? Okay. 5.63. Now K will be F at this number. Okay. So negative 4.57 times, I'm just going to go ahead and copy that whole thing. Who cares? Squared plus 51.43 times that same weirdo number plus 6. It looks like 150.7. All right. So we have our vertex of 5.63 comma 150.70. What was X again? right? We said X represents the month of the year. So 5.63 would be which month?
May.
Yeah, so somewhere in the middle of May, right? We hit the peak. Now, we can answer the question, determine the part B, in which month does the butterfly population peak? We would say May, right? Now, in May, it corresponds to 150.70 million butterflies. So the number, part A, would be 150.70. So part A is 150.70 million butterflies. Part B would be this peak happened in May. Does this make sense? Okay, well, that's it for today. You guys have any questions on exam 2? Does it seem doable?
Yes, but I do have a question. Sorry.
Yeah, what's going on?
So